Welcome to another deep dive into Home Assistant's latest update version 2024.8. This release is packed with exciting features and significant improvements designed to make your smart home experience smoother, more powerful, and more intuitive. In today's video, we're going to explore these new features in detail, from dashboard enhancements to local AI control, and even some changes that might surprise longtime users. So let's jump right in. Service calls renamed to actions. Let's start with a change that might catch you off guard. Service calls have been renamed to actions. Now, this might seem like a minor tweak, but it's a significant shift in how we interact with Home Assistant. For years, we've been accustomed to the term service calls, but the developers have opted for actions to better align with the intuitive nature of the platform. This change isn't just cosmetic, it's part of a broader effort to make Home Assistant more accessible, especially for newcomers who might find the term service calls a bit technical or confusing. If you're an experienced user, you might be wondering how this affects your current setup. The good news is that all your existing automations and scripts will continue to work as they did before. There's no need to rush into your YAML files to make changes. However, as you start creating new automation, it's recommended to use the new action terminology. Think of it as future-proofing your setup. Eventually, the old service key might be deprecated, so adopting the new terminology now will save you some hassle down the road. Let's take a closer look at why this change was made. The term actions is more descriptive of what you're actually doing within the Home Assistant ecosystem. When you're automating something, you're essentially defining actions that should happen under certain conditions. This makes the platform more intuitive and approachable, especially for users who might not have a technical background. It's all about making Home Assistant more user-friendly without sacrificing any of the powerful capabilities that we've come to rely on. New dashboard badges. Next up, let's talk about the new dashboard badges. If you're someone who loves a clean and organized dashboard, you're going to appreciate this feature. Dashboard badges allow you to add small, customizable icons at the top of your dashboard. These badges can display at a glance information or serve as quick access controls for various functions in your smart home. Imagine walking past your dashboard and instantly seeing how many lights are on, who's home, or what the current temperature is in different rooms, all without having to navigate through multiple screens. That's the power of these new badges. They're especially useful if you're using a tablet or a dedicated display as your smart home hub. With a quick glance, you get all the information you need. Let's break down how to set these up. Adding a badge to your dashboard is straightforward. Simply go into the dashboard edit mode, click the plus button, and choose the type of badge you want to add. You can select from a variety of entities such as sensors, switches, or even custom templates you've created. Once you've chosen your entity, you can further customize the badge by adjusting its appearance, setting visibility conditions, and more. One of the cool things about these badges is their versatility. For instance, you can create a badge that only appears when certain conditions are met, like when the temperature in a room goes above a certain threshold, or when motion is detected in a specific area. This dynamic visibility ensures that your dashboard remains uncluttered and only shows you the most relevant information at any given time. Another great use case for badges is to create quick action buttons. Let's say you frequently turn all the lights off when you leave the house. You can create a badge that does exactly that with a single tap. It's all about making your smart home more efficient and tailored to your specific needs. Improved data tables. Moving on to the next enhancement, improved data tables. If you've spent any time managing your Home Assistant setup, you know how valuable it is to have clear and accessible data. This update brings sorting capabilities to data tables, particularly on pages like the device or entity pages. You can now sort by created or modified timestamps, which is a small but significant improvement. So why is this important? Well, as your smart home setup grows, keeping track of all your devices, automation, and entities can become a bit of a challenge. With the new sorting options, you can quickly see which devices or entities were recently added or modified, helping you stay organized and up to date with your system's changes. This is especially useful when troubleshooting or optimizing your automation. Let's consider a practical example. Suppose you've just added a new sensor to your system and you want to make sure it's working as expected. By sorting your entities by the created timestamp, you can easily find the new sensor and check its status. Similarly, if you've been tweaking your automations, sorting by the modified timestamp allows you to identify the most recent changes you've made quickly. This improvement might seem subtle, but it reflects Home Assistant's ongoing commitment to making the platform more user-friendly and efficient. It's these little details that add up to a smoother overall experience. Local AI control with Ollami. Now, let's talk about something that's been generating a lot of buzz: local AI control with Ollami. AI and smart home technology are a match made in heaven, and with this update, Home Assistant takes another step forward in integrating AI into your smart home. Ollami is a local AI integration that runs entirely on your hardware, giving you more control and privacy. Why is local AI important? Well, one of the biggest concerns with cloud-based AI services is privacy. When you use a cloud service, your data is processed on external servers, which means you have less control over how your information is used. With Ollami, all processing happens locally on your own hardware, so your data never leaves your home. This is a big win for anyone who values privacy and wants to keep their data secure. Ollami is still in its early stages, but it's already showing a lot of potential. While it might not be as powerful as cloud-based AI solutions from giants like Google or OpenAI, it's a promising start for local AI control. You can use Ollami for tasks like natural language processing, voice control, and even some basic automation tasks. It's a great addition to the Home Assistant ecosystem, especially for those who prefer to keep their smart home as self-contained as possible. One of the most exciting possibilities with Ollami is the potential for custom AI models tailored to your specific needs. Because it runs locally, you have the freedom to experiment with different models and configurations without worrying about cloud limitations or costs. This could lead to some truly innovative use cases as more users start to explore what's possible with local AI. Matter and KNX Improvements. Let's move on to Matter and KNX Improvements. If you're invested in the future of smart home technology, you've probably heard a lot about Matter. It's a new industry standard that aims to unify smart home devices, making them work seamlessly together, regardless of the brand. This update brings some important enhancements to Matter devices within Home Assistant, particularly the ability to receive firmware updates. Firmware updates might not sound glamorous, but they're crucial for keeping your devices secure and functioning optimally. With this update, Home Assistant now supports firmware updates for Matter devices, similar to what's already available for Zigbee devices. While not many manufacturers are offering these updates yet, it's a feature that sets the stage for broader adoption as Matter continues to evolve. In addition to firmware updates, Matter also sees enhancements in event entities. This means you can now capture more event types, such as single, double, or triple button presses, giving you more flexibility in how you configure your automations. For example, you could set up a single button press to turn on the lights, a double press to dim them, and a triple press to turn them off, all using a single device. For KNX users, this update is a game changer. KNX is a popular standard in Europe for smart home and building automation, and with this release, you can now manage KNX devices directly from the Home Assistant UI. This is a significant improvement over the previous method, which required manual configuration through YAML files. Now, you can easily add, remove, and configure KNX devices right from the user interface, making it more accessible to a broader audience. Alongside this, KNX has received new data point types for color dimming, time, and HVAC modes. These new data point types add more flexibility to your smart home setup, allowing for more precise control over your KNX devices. Whether you're adjusting the color temperature of your lights or fine-tuning your HVAC settings, these new data points make it easier to create the perfect environment in your home. YAML and UI integration. Another important trend in Home Assistant's development is the gradual transition from YAML configuration to UI-based configuration. This update continues that trend, making more integrations available directly through the UI. Even if an integration is still set up in YAML, it will now be visible in the UI, ensuring that all devices and integrations are easily accessible. This shift towards UI-based configuration is a big deal, especially for new users. YAML can be intimidating for those who aren't familiar with coding, and it's one of the barriers that has kept some people from fully embracing Home Assistant. By making more integrations available through the UI, Home Assistant is lowering the entry barrier and making it